Everybody, I hope all is well. Obviously, if you know what time it is, then you know what it is. So check me out. All right, guys. First things first, like, comment, and of course, subscribe. If you disagree with me, tell me in the comments. And of course, I'll go back and forth with you. It's what we do. And if you do agree, just tell me in the comments. Either way, let me know. I don't mind. I respond back to everyone. This is the Atlanta Falcons mock draft with trades. So this is the super fun part about this entire thing for me. So I scrolled over to this one of the trade recap. So first things first, obviously, Arizona, they called, why not? Give them the 8th pick. In return, we get the first 27th pick, 35th, 66th, and a couple of 7-rounders for next year. Then we're going to go ahead, we're going to trade our 7th round pick to go inside and get 193. With that being said, let's dive in. Let's talk about it, all right? First things first, at 27, go ahead and get your receiver, Troy Franklin, 6'2", wide out, number 1, and we're doing size. We created a basketball team for the Falcons, believe it or not. I mean, you got Drake London at 6'5", Kyle Pitts at 6'6", your shooting guard at 6'2". You know what I mean? Like, you're building your whole entire basketball roster right here, right now, giving a lot of toys and stuff for them. So right away, automatically, the Falcons already become contenders when it comes to offensive side of the ball. All right. Then on top of that, at 35, you go edge rusher, Chop Robinson out of Penn State. He's not the best defensive edge rusher in the draft, but he does help out. He's young, gets you there, obviously. That's something that I like. He's going to be fun to watch, especially in Raheem's system. It's going to be great because guess what we're doing? Not only are we getting another edge, we're getting another defensive lineman on top of that. Chop playing alongside Sweat, who's probably going to play 60% of the snaps. Bigger dude. I know Byron Murphy's probably the bigger guy. Leonard Taylor's another guy on the board that could be there at this time, but in my mock, they were not available. So that's fine. So I just went on ahead and I utilized both. Obviously, Sweat right there in that position, but if they do draft D-line, I think that would be something that they could go after is Smith or Taylor, one of those two. But Sweat was there, not a bad selection. Pairing him up with Chop Robinson, you're obviously building that young D-line. That's going to be fun. Then, of course, Troy Franklin, obviously being that number 2, solid 2 receiver off the rip. Drake London can be a number 1, finally get that one-on-one, actually turn into the Mike Evans that y'all want him to be for in Atlanta, which is perfect. Tyler Nims out of Minnesota is an amazing safety. Now, in the mock that I took without the trades, I actually had Tyreek Smith. But Tyler Nim, because you're picking at 66, go ahead and address that safety need right away. Go ahead and address it. Help him out. He's a ball hawk, just a true ball hawk. And he's fun to watch as well. With that being said, we're going to stick with defense again because Raheem's going to have some fun defensively. It's coming. Like, defensively, he's loving this. Adrian Cooper, I have him again in the previous mock. Same style, same way I like him before. Great edge rusher, could cover linebacker, just knows how to get out to the quarterback. You can send him on a blitz. You can have him drop back in coverage. I just like him because he's a good rotation guy for Atlanta. For Atlanta, he's a good rotation guy. He had to come in and be that number 1 linebacker right away. But this is depth. This is something that we saw a lot. Believe it or not, we saw it in that run in the 2021, I believe it's 21, when the Rams won it all that year. Yeah, so it'd be 23. So last year was Kansas City. Yeah, so in 21, we saw the Rams do a lot of that rotation with them linebackers and stuff like that. So I really like him there. He kind of gives me that, he doesn't play like him because they went to the same school, but he gives me that Von Miller type, Floyd. He can play back, do all those. That's the kind of guy that he could become, but in rotation-wise. So I don't think that, he'll be that every down. But in the style that Raheem can have him in, that 3-4, oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Cooper fits that perfectly. With that being said, at 79, Christian Haynes, yes, sir. You need help offensively on offensive line in the interior side. If you're the Falcons, Chris Haynes fits the description for you. This guy can play center, he can play guard, whatever you want him to play inside that triangle is what I like to call it. He can play that. You know what I mean? So quick hands, elusive, great feet, cannot be moved, will not be moved, shall not be moved. That's a whole Bible verse for you right there. He can really just plant it and just shows you, like, you know what the best thing to do about him is? I would love to show you the tape, but I probably get copyrighted for it. So I'm going to tell you right now, go to my Senior Bowl offensive line versus D line, and just watch him specifically. I think he's in the timestamp 2 minutes. I want to say 2 minute like 6 seconds mark. I don't know exactly, but he just works everybody, throwing them out the club. Just hands, just beautiful, man, beautiful hands, just killing them boys straight up. And that's something that we really want to see, especially if you're playing offensive guard in the NFL. Protection, create that wall of China. That's what you want to see. I really like that a lot. Then we go back to the defensive side of the ball, getting Josh Newton at corner, just more so of depth. AJ Terrell and the boys obviously doing their thing, so that would be good for the Falcons, just corner. Next up is Joe Milton. I don't love this pick. The only reason why I don't love it is because I really like Jordan Travis coming here, but it's okay because Joe Milton is a quarterback. The Falcons do need a quarterback, and yes, I didn't take a quarterback so far in this draft. There's multiple reasons why, and here, let me explain. Number one, I think that, please don't kill me, Atlanta, for this. I know you guys always say you're a quarterback away. You were a receiver away. You were a tight end away. You were an offensive lineman away. You were this away, this away, this away, this away, this away. How about, let's just be realistic. Arthur Smith didn't cut it. It didn't work out. And I think that the problem is that Desmond Ridder looks so bad that he has no chance of really redeeming himself for the city of Atlanta. Which means the great hope of Tyler Heineke is there, right? Well, technically, that's not going to work either. So what I was thinking, and what should be thought through a lot of people's head to me is, I would go ahead and, like, my friends are an Atlanta Falcons fans. I live in the Atlanta area. He was telling me, I don't want a quarterback. I want Shedeur Sanders. And at first I was like, I would go get a quarterback. But when you think about it, Penix is too old. Bo Nix is probably going to be off the board. He's also too old. Jordan Travis is probably your best bet. Jordan Travis, Pratt, or Joe Milton. Those probably are your three best bets in this draft where your quarterbacks land to you and they actually might get you some value, or a bridge quarterback to get you to where you really want to be. I don't think that you need an elite quarterback in the division of the NFC South because the Saints haven't figured it out yet. They haven't figured out that they're really actually a good team. They haven't figured that out yet, right? Baker Mayfield had a good year, but Mike Evans is not coming back. Probably. More than likely he's leaving, right? Carolina, that's just a mess. I don't even know. That's just a mess right there within itself. But why not, like I said in this draft, go ahead, get pieces around so whoever's going to be your next quarterback. And on defense, build that defense up too as well. Do what the Niners did. Go get you a great value quarterback. Go ahead, go to good old fourth round and up, fourth, fifth, and sixth and seventh round and up, and go ahead and go get a quarterback at a discounted price. Build a team around him. Have him just go out there and just play regular football. Don't do nothing much. Be a game manager. Be a Cam Newton. Tell him, Cam, be a game manager. And that's why I really like Joe Milton, because the way the offensive line is going to be built, the running game, the receivers with Troy Franklin now being there. Then on top of that, you got Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and we're going to have some more pieces being added to as well when we go down this list. I think that Joe Milton is going to be perfectly fine just supervising the area. He ain't got to do too much, and if he gets in trouble, he does have legs. He can move. He can run. You know what I'm saying? So, like, he looked horrible in the Senior Bowl. I'm not going to lie. He did not look like a great quarterback, which I say I don't love this pick, but because of how my mock landed, like I said, that's the guy that I had to go for if I had to pick out of those three. And Jordan Travis was off the board. Kyle Pratt was off the board. So Matt Pratt was off the board. So, yeah. Joe Milton was the guy that I chose. He was the last bottom of the barrel. But with that being said, here's the bright side of it. Cedric Johnson out of Ole Miss, another edge rusher, 6'4 plus. Help out with Chop Robinson. Add him to that. Just some more depth on the defensive line. Dylan Holker, another great tight end. I talked about him in my previous video with no trades. This one, I like him. He's still at pick 99, which is funny, right? So he can be a spark, like I said, on the tight end side. If you guys decide to keep Kyle Pitts or, trade him, however y'all want to go about that. He's kind of the same player, not as fast. My bad. He's not the same player then. I'm sorry. He's not even the same height. And he's a different color. Anyways, no, but that doesn't matter. He's not the same player as Kyle Pitts, but he does do great production with catching the ball. He can block, more physical up front. You know what I mean? 2 tight end set. If you want to go that 11 personnel. You know what I'm saying? He can do that. Goal line, you got 2 explosive tight ends. He can play receiver pretty much. That's what he did at Colorado State, was one of those things. So that's something that I really like. Dylan Holker here, especially strictly with the Falcons and, of course, with the Jets. I like him too there as well. And with the Vikings. I like him on a lot of teams if they know how to use him right. And last but not least is LaKedrick Griffin out of Mississippi State. So a lot of people are not really familiar with him. And even when I picked him, the draft grade gave me an F. I don't understand why. But for Atlanta, there's this thing called gadget players. And that's what I really like for you guys. You guys like Cordell Patterson, right? How he just does it all. LaKedrick Griffin is the same thing, but younger and a lot faster and way more elusive. And that's something that you really want for Atlanta. That third receiver to come in and kind of like, just the check downs. And he's also explosive. You know what I mean? Return game, punt and kick return, can do both. Can play receiver very well. He did play receiver a lot at Mississippi State. And he kind of was a jet sweep kind of guy. Just all around type player. Put some weight on him, of course. Obviously, he's a project player. But I really do like him. I fit him there. Another player that you guys could go after, too, that I really like is Anaya Smith out of Texas A&M. Another player I like is... Dadgummit, I can't think of the young man's name all of a sudden. Hold on one second. Had to take a pause for a second. Excuse me on that. Like I said, you got LaKedrick Griffin, who's a good gadget player. Anaya Smith, who's a good gadget player. Joshua Cephas is the guy from University of Texas El Paso. Excuse me. He's also a good guy. Another gadget player that could fit, or he could be a number 1. He's really a dual type player. A Drake Stoops. That's another guy I like too for y'all as well. Guy who just knows how to move the chains. So, kind of a lot of receivers I love for the fact in that 7th round that y'all could pick that are just great gadget guys that could get this job done. And you know what I mean? Like really could effectively really play good ball for y'all. So that's something that I do like for the Atlanta Falcons. I had a lot of fun with this one. So I'm really excited to see where Atlanta goes. I know I was pretty dramatic with my trade back because, man, I really, if I'm Atlanta, if I'm not going to get a quarterback for the quarterback sweepstakes, because I know they're not going to get Caleb Williams, they're probably not going to get Drake May, they're probably not going to get Jaden Daniels. So what I'm saying is, and you don't have to trade for Justin Fields. I'd hold off on that because I think if you do right this draft, the next draft will only make you a lot better. So it's kind of a 2-year project for you guys. And I know you guys will be like, let's get better right away now. Then you'll be like the Giants where you have all these issues later on because you were too good too quick. You want to be slow to getting great. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just get great overnight. And if you dare say the Texans, because that's my favorite football team, we definitely built through the draft. So don't even start. We built through the draft, and then we got our quarterback. So we had everything in place. We just needed a guy to throw that thing. And that's the same thing with y'all. If Joe Milton doesn't pan out, okay, whatever. If you guys can get Jordan Travis, that's even better. Just Devin Leary, those kind of guys, is what it is on that. But, yo, please, let me know in the comments how y'all feel. Like, comment, and, of course, subscribe. Yo, peace, we out.